Hi, everybody. Welcome to another week at Pensado's Place. He's Dave. I'm Herb. And in a second, we'll get to part two of this incredible genius, Al Schmitt, and his book On the Record, The Magic Behind the Music. But first, a couple quick things. Pensado Preferred continues on, although time is running out. You got to get to it. We've got Warm Audio in our little stocking, 15% across all their gear. You'll get 15% off. Go to warmaudio.com, mics, compressors, preamps, all kinds of good stuff there. Also in our stocking is AudioSourceRE's DeMix Pro. Spectral editing, track separation, just amazing control, this software stuff that you want in your toolkit. You can go to AudioSourceRE.com for any information you need there. And last in the stocking is the Blackbird Academy's live classes. They're available in January and in April. The live space is a place that's growing. It's got job opportunity, hone your skills. And the Blackbird Academy, you will actually work with the professionals doing the work, and their graduates are all over the place, actually making a great living. For information, you can go to their website or email karma at theblackbirdacademy.com. You want to do that. As usual, we thank you for signing up for our newsletter. Please like and subscribe and click notify. And as you know, it's the holidays. It's a time to take a break. We want to tell you how much we appreciate you. You go hug your family, get away from this craziness, and enjoy. Dave, what say you?
Well, we've got the best audience on the internet. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a great holiday. People I've mixed for, thank you so much. Let's keep them coming. And I hope we all have a blessed 2019.
So, with that said, he's the magician, Al Schmitt. The book's on the record. It's the magic behind the music. And stay tuned for part two of our conversation. And I used to tell somebody, I said, he's like a microphone savant. He knows what he's going to get, and then he knows when he has it, and he leaves it alone. And whether it's moving the mic or moving the person, you get so much information back to you when you get that right.
I know.
The only other person that, there are a number of people that are microphone crazy, and sometimes it's like McBride. I remember being at a Pat Williams session with you, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And the Frank Sinatra mic was in the room, and I just went and stood by it. I was happy enough to be in the thing.
You sang into it,
but then I called McBride, and I took a picture of it. I said, guess what I'm buying? He's like, oh, you're a capitalist, Al mixing. And we went into this. There was this sort of fraternity of mic brothers. And if you were in the room and you were sharing it, but watching you do that has been an amazing thing, because by the time you get done with your placement having it like you want, you're almost ready to go. Like, there's not a whole lot of other stuff to put on it, right? You just go capture what it is when you have it. Right?
Yeah, I'm fast, and I do things fast, and I know what preamps I'm using, and
what preamps do you use?
What mics, what?
What preamps do you use?
Well, I like the preamps that are in the 88R, but I also, they have Capital has a rack of old Neve, the 1081s and 1073s. So I use a lot of that, and then I have a whole rack of different preamps, from Studer 2 preamps to, I have this Upstate Audio preamps that are amazing. I have 8 of them, and the guy that was building these sent them to me and to Chuck Ainley in Nashville to check them out, and they blew both of us away.
Oh, so they're new.
And well, they're not new anymore. But then evidently the wife had the money. He was going to start manufacturing these. And evidently something happened there, I don't know what, but he disappeared. So I still have these 8 incredible preamps.
And there are no more.
And there are no more.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm at Capitol. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it for me.
Yeah.
But Yeah, they're just amazing.
So-
and
so-
then I have 4 tube, the mastering lab preamps. Those are amazing.
Jensens?
I use them on trumpets all the time. They're incredible.
So do you keep up with, the technology just changes so much, what's available to you guys,
Yeah.
whether it's plugins or gear or new manufacturers, and it comes from all over the world. Do you keep up? Do you have people who let you know what's going on? Do you stay aware but don't try everything? How do you use technology?
Well, I have so many friends who are engineers. One is here now, Nico, and we talk about stuff all the time.
Yeah.
When we get new microphones, we try them. And Nico and I just tried 2 of the new 67s that Neumann made on a classical album that he was producing, and it was just how amazing these mics were and how great they sounded. So, yeah, it's you learn what mics work well on what instruments. And I'm a microphone freak, so I try. Audio Technica come out with new mics. I try them. Mojave,
Royer.
I try them. And there are certain things of theirs that I really like. Like I used to use C12s on the overhead of drums.
Yeah.
And I got these 5045s,
Audio
and they're
Technicas.
probably about $1,200 a piece.
Yeah, they're great.
I put them on the overheads. Not only did I freak out, the drummer said, "What are those mics, man?" The cymbals just sounded so cool and good, So now that's what I use all the time. And then at one point, Steve Jenerick and I, we had to do a quick guitar. We had an electric guitar player, and then he went to acoustic, and we didn't realize at the time. So we just grabbed one of those 5045s and put it on the acoustic mic, and it was Dean Parks.
Wow.
He freaked out in his phones. We freaked out inside how great this mic sounded on the acoustic guitar.
You know
And in the Royer microphones,
Yeah.
I don't use anything but Royer microphones on trombones, those kind of things. I like the go-to microphones right away.
I don't think, I haven't been in the studio a lot with you, but a fair amount. I don't know I've ever seen you with headphones on.
I never will, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There is a picture of me with headphones that was taken at a studio. I can't think of the name of it, a long time ago, and it was just on Facebook. Somebody posted the picture, and it had to be in the 60s, late 60s. And I must have been doing, because I never wear them, I must have been getting an earphone balance for the musicians.
Probably.
And that's the only thing I can think of. 'Cause I never-
So let me ask you a couple of questions, because a lot of our audience aspire to either move from school and, they hope to be assistants. And you have a philosophy about 11 things about assistants that you think are important. So let's go through them really quickly. Assistants need to be well-versed in certain DAWs, right?
Well, certainly
Like what?
in Pro Tools and so forth, and they should be. They should, if they're working with someone and they're assisting, they should know what that guy does and what he's done. They should try to look that up and do their homework.
Greg Wells
I
said
think
that
that's really important.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
If you have that opportunity, you're even a better assistant if you're a musician. Right?
I believe that. I think, yeah. I mean, if you can follow a score, or you have some good, pitch, good pitch, I think it makes it better. Because if the assistant's running the Pro Tools and you're going to punch in at bar 88, you want him to know
We're bar 88.
where to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Personal hygiene.
Very important.
Don't be funky.
Yeah, nobody wants somebody in there that
Right.
smells bad and
Right.
or has bad breath. I always say if somebody offers you a mint, take it. There's a reason they're
There's a
offering
reason
it to you.
they're not being polite.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's important.
Accountability. If you make a mistake, own it.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that
Come to
one.
me, tell
I love
me,
that one.
and then forget it.
Yeah.
Because if you're worried about it, you're going to make another mistake.
Yeah.
Let me take care of it.
I used to tell people problems don't age well.
Yeah, that's right.
Get it out, let them know.
You're going to make mistakes. It's always
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the other hallmarks of Al Schmitt is keeping diagrams and accurate notes and session things. And And I think a lot of times people, we call it the head down society. Sometimes people are so busy in here in their phones and so on and so forth that they forget that other art form, which is an important art form, to be able to look at a piece of paper, draw out, put out notes, be specific, read a diagram.
That saved my life. That's what got me. Tommy Dowd bought me a notebook and said, just diagram every session I do, what mic I use, where I put it, how to, and I did that. And then 3 months after I'm still a kid, and now I'm able to do a little demo, like a voice and piano, and that, and what walks in, Mercer Ellington, the Duke Ellington Band, and I got to record that, and I can't find anybody. It's a Saturday, and I'm ready to faint.
Sure.
And God bless that book. I got the book, I knew we only had 8 inputs on the board, so there was only 8 mics. I knew how he set up everybody. I did that, got the mics out there. Duke Ellington shows up, and I kept saying to Mr. Ellington, this is a big mistake. I'm not qualified to do this. This was supposed to be a little demo, voice and piano or something. I was 19.
That's
and
scary.
We did it. He said, he kept patting me out. He looked at me and he knew that if he didn't calm me down, I was going to probably faint or become a puddle right in front of him.
Right.
And he patted me on the way. He said, oh, it looks good out there, son. And he said, oh, just relax. Don't worry. We're going to get through this. We'll get through this.
And the other things, it's interesting because the other, to compile the rest of the things were keep the studio neat, know the food menu, make a good cup of coffee.
Good pizza.
And one that I think is really important is if you get asked something and don't know the answer, be honest. I think sometimes now, because people have access to information, they'll try to find it or fake it, and it just shows. And that never works in creativity.
Those are important. And I have to tell you, I talk to guys like Nico and Bill Schnee and a lot of these people about what. So this is comprised from information I got from a lot of other really good engineers who feel kind of similar to. They all had their own little things that it was important to them.
So, again, the breadth of artists that you've worked with, it's 20 some odd Grammys, 2 Latin Grammys, Recording Hall of Fame, Tech Hall of Fame, Pensado Giant, our first Giant Award winner, the only engineer who has a star on the Walk of Fame. So there's just platitudes that are amazing. But I always find that when you can go from Duke Ellington to Diana Krall, Quincy Jones, Earth, Wind and Fire, to Toto and Steely Dan, Jackson Browne to Bob Dylan, it is stunning the breadth and depth of the artists that you have been a constant in, Paul McCartney and the way these people feel about you. What you do is the constant, and they keep coming and saying, I want you to do it. That's what's so rare about your career. There's a lot of guys who worked with a lot of people.
I'd also toss in, nobody today can do what he does.
I agree.
Nobody.
I agree. And when you take the breadth of personalities, Jefferson Airplane and Les Paul, those are 2 different things, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
But at this point in time,
but it's still working.
He can't find an artist that he's not still the bigger star than the
No,
artist.
no question. Oh, no.
I don't know
You
about
walk in
that.
Al's room and you're like, look, let's just tell a story about Al.
I was afraid of him when I first
Well,
started.
and there's good reason to be, because what you don't want to do is get Al pissed off. Pissed off Al. All this gentle thing you see right
All that
here.
meditation stuff.
Yeah,
That's boys from Brooklyn.
Neil says that on the back of the book.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does.
When you start a mix, it shocked me that you start from the kick and bass and move up. I thought the general consensus was you start with the vocals and then build down.
I hear you do the same thing.
I do.
Well, then,
I do.
So there you know.
But I was looking for confirmation here, Al.
Yeah, well, you're getting it.
Boom.
Absolutely. It's for me. It's almost like building a house.
Yeah.
So you don't start at
with
the
the
top
foundation.
here with the voice. You start down here at the bottom and
And you're
work
still
up.
using the Tube Tech multiband, the SMC. I can't remember the number. I never used
I
it.
don't either. I don't remember the number, but I still use it.
Wow.
3-band.
And you're
Yeah,
still using
2-band.
the old NTI EQ3 that
Yeah,
Cliff Mogg
you're still
makes?
using that.
Man, that's incredible.
Sure.
And another thing I got from the book, the importance of panning. I've always kind of thought panning could enhance a song, but the way you approach it and the way you describe it and the way you diagram it, I found fascinating that you would actually sit down and draw out the panning that you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I just do this and then put, the bass, voice, or whatever in the center and pan it out. But we talked about this earlier, and, I was struggling with a mix one day, and I had everything going, and it just wasn't quite happening. And I just panned the guitar over, and it was like the whole mix opened up. It was like, wow, what the hell happened there, So it really is, and that's when I really realized how important the panning was. Wow. So now when I'm recording, I'm panning everything the way I'm going to put it, mix it that way. So when I'm almost done, when I'm done recording, I'm almost done. I mean, I put it in there, I can lay it out, pan my stuff the way I want it, and then do whatever little stuff. It's like polishing it up a little bit, and then it's done.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, because when you record, you're also sort of mixing at the same time.
Absolutely, because that's how I learned. When I started, that was it. You were mixing. There was that was it.
Do you adhere to the concept of LCR, left, right, center, or do you pan gradually?
No, I have left, right, center, but I have also left center and right center and in between. And yeah.
But you don't like a variable pan, though?
Variable pan.
You know, like the pan pot just goes...
No, I don't, no. I do that, I do that, actually. I pan with the pan pot.
Because a lot of people are proponents of left, center, and right because they say you can't hear the in-between parts, but you can. Yeah, really.
Wow. I don't know who says that, but...
a deaf guy.
Larry Williams down on 3rd Street.
Yeah, I don't... that's not true. And I do pan certain things, if I have a piano and it's left and right, the low end and the high end on here, I'll have the guitar a little bit to the left of center. So it's playing off the top end of the piano.
Wow.
And that's one of the things I do. Of course, the bass is in the center.
And are you still using the chambers as much as you always have? I know you combine it with Orem Echo from the Bricasti, but
yeah, I do. I love the chambers. They're capital, and especially on vocals, the great vocal strings, brass. They're just amazing.
And the chamber that you shellacked multiple times to make the walls more reflective. Does it still exist? Is it?
No. That was in a studio called Coastal Recording Studios in New York City, and that was Tommy Dowd and I, and it was on 80 West 40th Street, and it was very much like Abbey Road 2. Control room was up. You had stairs that went down, and it was this big, high ceiling. Magnificent room. It was just stunning. So,
but you didn't shellac that room.
No, we didn't shellac that. But the chamber was the room that was off to the left that we just took over and shellacked it. And
how many coats did you put on?
We'd have sometimes 8, 9 coats, sometimes more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
And we'd have to come out, every 10 minutes and breathe.
so you didn't die.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
This is all Tommy, man. And, Tommy worked on the Manhattan Project, and we all know what that's about.
Yeah.
And he was a scientist besides being a great engineer.
Yeah. Why is the piano the most difficult thing to make?
I don't know. It just all the overtones of a piano and to capture it in its finest, is it depends on the prominence of the piano and on how much time you want to spend and getting, because if it's, you got a big band and the guy's playing like little bassy things and all, then you keep the mics in there and keep them close and kind of.
You use 2 mics on most?
Yeah, always 2 mics on the piano, and I use M149s.
Okay.
The mic's got it's a great microphone with a wonderful top end. There's a nice brightness to it that's clean, and I love that. I use those two M149s on the upright bass also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, given the way mic placement is so important to you and emotion is so important to you, you must have to know the music before the session starts, so you have some sense of where you're going, or you just take it as it comes.
No, you take it as it comes, because sometimes you don't have a chance to know the music, so you have to take it as it comes. If you have a chance, if you're going to work with an artist and it's a known artist, and you've never worked with them before, it might be a good idea to listen to what they've done.
Yeah, do some research.
So you get an idea.
Yep.
And then sometimes I'll even talk to the artist about their favorite record, sounding record, and
that'll tell you
and
a
I'll
lot.
ask them what they use, what kind of mic they use, because you want them to be comfortable. You know?
I remember my first session ever miking drums. That's what I did. It was Jonathan Moffett, and I said, Jonathan,
Sugarfoot.
I said it was with Cameo, and I don't know why I was there. It was me and my partner Larry Turner, and I just say, Jonathan, what do they do in New York? And I've never done this before, and so he helped me and showed me how to tune drums and everything. I learned so much.
Well, I mentioned that in the book too. I think.
Yeah, you do.
If a guy comes in and he's got an instrument you've never seen before, you know, or whatever, and you don't know what the hell to do with it, talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be friends with the musicians. That is one of the most important things an engineer does. You know, is because, you know, we hang out with those guys and all. So he comes in with an instrument that you've never seen before. Where would you put the mic on this? He said, well, the last guy put it over here and it sounded pretty good. So now you got a place to start.
Yeah.
I had that experience with a bagpipe. I've been engineering about 6 months, which is like an E-flat 3K machine. But we got it done, you know.
How did you...
bagpipes. I did a jazz album with Paul Horn called Cycle when I was producing at RCA. And we had 4 bagpipes on the jazz thing. And they never stop. The noise never goes away.
Oh my God, how did you handle it?
3 hours. I made up my mind then that I would never, ever record bagpipes again, ever.
Ever. Fillings coming out of your teeth and just...
And the tuning, and no.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we all get here and continue to be able to do our process not by ourselves. I mean, if we're being honest about it.
Absolutely.
And there are people around you that we know of that, you know, I would just want to get your take on, because we know them to be great people. Steve Janowick, for instance.
Yeah, no,
what does he mean to you?
Steve is great.
Yeah.
You know, I had a great assistant, Bill Smith at Capitol.
Yep.
And Bill felt he learned enough from me or whatever, and he went independent and has done fairly well doing it. And then Steve just jumped in, and he was new, and he's become amazing. You know, he's just great. I rely on him a lot.
Yeah.
We talk before every session. He calls me, I call him. We talk about how we want it set up, what we're going to use, and everything else. So, yeah, it's really important.
You guys are an amazing team. And then there's just people in our lives. For instance, Nico Bolas, who's here.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm going over to Denmark to record a big band and a jazz singer over there at the end of... And it's... anyway, the desk is not a desk I've ever worked on before. So I've got to find out what the model is and all. But Nico is, you know, I talked to Nico, hey, and he explains to me what the best way to go about doing it. You know, it's great to have friends, you know, whether it's Bill Schnee or anybody else that you can call up and say, hey, I'm going to work with this artist. I know you did something with it before. Anything I should look out for and watch out for. You know, it's like the old Boy Scout thing. Be prepared, you know? And
I think also understand that we're in a relationship business. Like, we're in a relationship business. You have to know people, make friends, talk to people. It isn't just text to each other and stuff. Like, there's actual interaction that help your career, that help your finances, that help you avoid mistakes and avoid bad people and things like that. It's
very important.
It's important stuff. And then the other thing that I think you do that is really important for our audience to know is you've always maintained this. You understand when you don't maintain a work-life balance, how it can get you out of sorts. And for 30 some odd years, you've done that between, if there's anybody who works in staying in shape, every morning you're famous for that, for Pilates.
Right.
Your wonderful wife, Lisa, who we love, has been a great thing in your life, investing in art, your love for animals. All that is important to I find that to be important to your creativity. The more balanced you are and happier. Is that fair?
I agree, absolutely. I think it's really important. The love and understanding for all living things is really important. I have a thing that I said when I got my first Pensado Giant Award, when I said, please be kind to all living things. And I really mean that. That's very important to me. So
if you guys watched our episode, I forget who we had on that week, but we did a little piece called "Soundtrack of an Inferno," and some of that noise and footage that we had was near Al's home. Al literally was put out of his house for 5 days. Fortunately, nothing burned down.
Yeah.
Everybody was okay, but that was life teaches you things and makes you realize things and so forth. And
how important it is.
Yeah.
We wound up the first night when we went out, we were told to get out. We went down 2 cars, my car and my wife's, and I had a cat and a dog in my car, and she had 2 dogs in her car, and we slept in the cars all night. We were able to get back at 6:30 in the morning, which was great. We thought, okay, now everything's safe. 8:30, they were knocking on the door, and you got to really get out. So we just had to pack up, and we moved to a friend's house, and we were lucky to have friends around. But it was scary.
So you got a batter's box. This is a Brooklyn guy. In the early days, he chose this because, could have some Goodfellas going on, and he decided not to do that. So you might get your block knocked off, and you don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, well, I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, cool. See you later. Bye. All right, here we go. Batter's box.
All right, Al.
Knock him out of the park.
I love you, but I got to go for it, buddy.
All right, go.
Here we go.
Okay. Favorite chamber?
Chamber 4 at Capitol Records.
Boom.
Overhead mics?
Right now, 50-45s.
Big band or orchestra?
Well, I love them both so much. It's hard to make a choice, really. But both are my favorites.
Neve?
Neve? Yeah, I love it. I love the Neve desk.
Capitol Studios?
Oh, I love Capitol Studios. It's like second home.
Plate reverb?
Plate reverb. 240?
140, 240?
Yeah.
East Coast jazz or West Coast jazz?
Wow. East Coast jazz.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if there's really a difference, but...
Phase, polarity?
In phase.
As opposed to out of phase.
Okay, we already had the most difficult thing to mic. What's the least expensive piece of equipment that you used on a big record?
I used a $99 microphone on George Benson's The Breezin' album when he sang Masquerade. And it was and I put that mic on him. It was a 666.
Is that the one where he's singing the notes along the...
No, this is the one where he sings Masquerade.
No.
And I had everybody set up around the drummer. And I thought, well, there's no way we get a vocal, and that he'll overdub it. And I stuck that mic on him, and he killed that vocal, killed it. One take down, and that was it. So that cheap $99 mic, if that. So I gave that mic. Finally, I got that mic from Capitol. It belonged to them, and I gave it to the Grammy Museum.
It was a 666.
It was what the heck?
He liked the 666.
Electric Voice.
Oh, okay.
An EV.
Yeah, let's not say 666 too many times.
I think that was the number of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
EV
number.
666.
The ugly mic too.
Yeah, and then with the next album I tried to do with him, we were doing it was a bigger band thing and all. I put the Frank Sinatra mic on him, and I want that other mic. That's my lucky mic, he called it.
Absolutely. That was certainly a successful record. A couple things as you prepare to take us home. One is one of the most important pages in this book is page 89, where he mentions Pensado's Place, just so you know. Just kidding. But what I'm not kidding about is that you have always supported us in this endeavor, literally from the start, at our awards, always attended, always, presented or whatever we've asked to do and show up. So, it's guys like you that give us credibility. So
well,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's guys like you that help out a lot of young guys, a lot of young people, and I think that's so important that people can come here and learn, without spending everything they have.
it wasn't around when we were coming up.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's a wonderful thing, I think, and I know a lot of guys that are working now that are responsible to Pensado's Place because that's where they got their start.
Amazing.
Wow.
We didn't go over everything. We went over a lot, but one of the things that you'll notice is he's got some secrets of success. And the first one is, and if this isn't the epitome of this man, is you got to love it. Don't do it if you don't love it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell people I lie to my wife every day when I go to work, I'm not going to work. I go in to play and have a good time.
You want to tell the lie you tell to your wife when you go? No, maybe let's not.
Which one? There's so many.
Which wife or which lie?
Pick.
We're not talking about past. We're talking present.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm blessed. My wife, among many assets, she's very low maintenance. And so I never really had too much trouble with that. Joy never came to the studio maybe 5 times in my whole life.
Well, thank you for that information. That's
Yeah,
helpful.
So I got
cool.
a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Al, we love you.
Yeah, I love you guys.
You're welcome here anytime. We want to see more of you. Al's going to go to work tomorrow. And you think about from where he started at 13, 14, 15 to still loving it, still doing it, and still killing it. That's the thing. The excellent level has never wavered just a bit. And so you'll learn a lot from emulating his career, as we all do. We love you, bud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Dave, take us home.
Davey.
Oh, wow. Where do I start? I've always kind of felt that creativity is something you don't own, you borrow it. And the way you borrow it is you stand next to the greats and you absorb some of that from them. There's none greater than Al Schmitt. If you want creativity, read the book. Find as much as you can about him. Find out. You just missed him last week. He did a live event. I was here, couldn't get in. It was so packed.
I know. It was amazing.
And so greatness can only be attained that way. And it's been kind of the benchmark of my career to try and absorb and stand next to the greats. Sometimes it rubs off, and this is one of those days where a little bit did. We'll see you next week.